Have you ever noticed how sometimes it feels like your own mind is kind of working against you?
Yeah.
Like instead of being a helpful guide, it's more like
Yeah, like a bad roommate you can't get rid of.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's actually what we're going to be diving into today because we're going to be looking at the perspective of Osho,
Okay.
who very much felt like our minds are often our worst enemies.
Right.
So,
It's interesting, because we all have those moments, like when you're having a good day and suddenly you just think about that super embarrassing thing you said like 3 years ago.
oh, yeah.
Or you just like create a worst case scenario in your head about something that's probably never going to happen.
Oh, totally. And Osho really did talk about that, like the mind being this constant companion that you can't escape.
Right.
And the thing is, we kind of think that that mental chatter is us being smart or productive, like
Yeah.
our brain is doing its job. But what Osho suggests is that this is actually a source of a lot of our unhappiness. It's like we've been tricked into thinking that our inner critic is our best friend.
Yeah, it's like we identify so strongly with this voice in our head
Right.
that we don't even realize that a lot of it is just noise.
Yeah,
Like it's not even helpful, it's
yeah,
repetitive, and it can even sabotage us.
totally. So that's what we're really diving into today.
Okay.
Why does our mind seem to work against us so much, and what did Osho think that we could do about it?
Sounds good.
So I like that analogy of the bad roommate.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that make the mind such a terrible roommate, according to Osho?
Well, one of the things that Osho pointed out is that our minds are inherently restless.
Okay.
Like, think about a toddler who's had way too much sugar. It's never satisfied. So,
Mhm.
like, you finally achieve a goal that you've been working towards, and for a brief moment, you feel content, and then your mind's already on to the next thing.
Right, like you finally get that new phone or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's immediately, okay, well, now I need to think about what's the next upgrade I need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never ending.
Yeah, like the mind has a built-in must acquire more stuff app.
Totally. And Osho talks about this a lot, this constant pursuit of more.
Okay.
And regardless of what you have, your mind's always focused on what you don't have.
Right.
So if you don't have something, you're miserable because you want it.
Yeah.
And then if you do get it, you immediately start worrying about losing it.
Right.
Or you start wanting something else.
Yeah, it can't just enjoy what's there.
No, it's like it's incapable of just being present and content.
Yeah, so this constant wanting is a big problem.
Yeah, definitely.
What else makes the mind feel like we're working against ourselves?
Well, another key thing that Osho talks about is that our minds thrive on drama.
Oh, really?
Like almost to the point where they need conflict to feel relevant.
Hmm. That seems kind of backwards.
It does, right?
You'd think our brains would want things to be calm and easy.
Yeah, you'd think so, but Osho's point is that when things are calm, our minds don't feel like they're doing anything important.
Oh, so they make up problems
Exactly.
to solve.
Right. Sometimes these problems are real,
Right.
but often they're totally made up.
So that's why I wake up at 3 a.m. worrying about things.
It could be.
Everything's fine. There's no actual problem.
Yeah.
But my brain is like, let's invent one.
Right. It's like your mind needs to stay busy even if it's not doing anything useful.
Oh, so it's like that security guard in a really boring neighborhood
Yeah.
who's like, well, let me make up a crime to investigate.
Yeah. Osho compares it to a TV that's always on,
Okay.
just broadcasting a constant stream of drama.
Yeah, okay, so we've got this restless mind that can't be satisfied,
Right.
and this drama-loving mind that needs to stir up trouble.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to do about this?
Right. Well, we can't exactly evict our minds.
No.
So Osho's approach wasn't about getting rid of the mind.
Okay.
It was more about changing how we relate to it.
Okay.
Because he says that fighting with your mind is a losing battle. The more you try to suppress your thoughts, the stronger they become.
Right, like trying to put out a fire with gasoline.
Exactly.
I've definitely tried that.
Yeah.
I'll be, oh, I'm not going to worry about that. And it's like all I can think about.
Right. It just makes it worse.
Yeah. So Osho said, don't fight it, just observe it.
Yeah. That was his main recommendation.
Okay.
Just become aware of your thoughts without getting caught up in them.
So don't judge them.
Exactly. Don't judge them. Don't believe everything they tell you. Just notice them.
So it's like we need to be a little detached.
Yeah, you could say that.
Like watch our thoughts from a safe distance.
Yeah, like a storm chaser, but for your own mind.
That sounds good in theory, but how do we do that?
Well, it takes practice.
Okay.
Osho talks a lot about meditation as a way to cultivate that detached observation.
Right.
But you can also start small in everyday life. Just try to notice when your mind starts to race or fixate on something,
Yeah.
and then acknowledge the thought without getting sucked into its story.
So I don't have to believe it.
No, you can just notice it and let it go.
So it's about creating some space
Yes.
between me and my thoughts.
Right.
Osho had a good analogy for this.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
He said that thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky,
Okay.
and you are the sky.
I like that.
So the clouds come and go. Some are fluffy white,
Right.
some are dark and stormy, but they don't change the sky.
Exactly.
And our thoughts are kind of like that.
Yeah, they're temporary. They don't define us.
Yeah, that's helpful because if I think about my anxiety as just a cloud,
Yeah.
then I don't need to freak out about it.
Right. You can just let it pass.
Okay, so just to recap,
Yeah.
Osho's main points are that the mind is restless and always wanting more.
Uh-huh.
It often creates drama to keep itself busy.
Right.
Fighting with the mind just makes things worse.
Yeah.
And the key is to observe our thoughts without getting carried away by them.
Exactly. And to remember that we are not our minds.
Right, we're the sky, not the clouds.
Exactly. And Osho believed that this shift in perspective
Yeah,
is what leads to real peace and freedom.
that's powerful. So the next time you feel your mind spiraling,
Yeah.
just try to take a step back
Okay.
and observe those thoughts like clouds passing by.
I'll try that.
Yeah, I think we all can benefit from that.
Definitely.
So thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
Of course.
And now that
Yes.
you've heard all this, how might you approach your next moment of mental overthinking?
That's a good question.
It is something to think about.
Yeah, it really is.